The Caribbean island of Aruba, with its capital, Oranjestad, belongs alongside Bonaire and Curaçao to the so-called ABC Islands off the coast of Venezuela, and each has a unique flair. Colourful colonial buildings remind us of the Netherlands, and the oldest preserved building, Fort Zoutman, was built in 1796, a modest fortress of stone and clay. The Wilhelmina Park, named after the Dutch Queen, is located on the coast and leads to the lagoon with the yacht and fishing harbour. But Aruba's capital is also very touristy and almost American, with hotels, casinos, restaurants and shopping malls where you can get everything, and above all, duty-free. The Sun Island lives on contrasts. So after a short drive, we reach the huge rock formation Kazibari, whose natural and constant sculptor is the salty wind. Here you can also find the historic graves of the first settlers. The island tour then leads to a natural bridge washed out of the lava rock over millions of years. The atmosphere is laid back as we continue to the ruins of the disused gold mine of Bushiribana. Here, the Dutch colonial masters hoped for a quick fortune. This is followed by the California Lighthouse on the northern tip of the island. A 55-metre-high lighthouse which rises into the blue sky, surrounded by a desert-like landscape. And all around, roving merchants offer a variety of goods. During a round trip, the west side of the island with sandy beach and the sea should certainly not be missed. Here, the anticipated Caribbean feeling turns to reality. Aruba is the smallest but most touristically developed island of the Netherlands Antilles. Bonaire is a dreamy, unspoilt island, which is the least developed for tourism. In the port of the capital, Kralendijk, one is welcomed by the small Fort Aranje. Right next door, the small market exudes a colourful tranquility, giving the visitor a feeling of being in a bigger village. The ever-growing Bank Road is constantly being extended in the city area, mainly on the waterfront. In the Terramar Museum, the visitor learns about the indigenous people who, in 1499, when the Spanish first arrived, still lived as in the Stone Age. But slavery is also documented. Calle Grande is the main road, with shops, restaurants and street cafes. The island tour leads to the Karst Caves, where once the Arawak Indians lived and nourished until the Spanish conquered the island. But it became even worse when, in 1634, the Dutch took over the island from the Spanish and introduced slavery. From the hill, we overlook the settlement area of the first Spaniards. And we visit what was supposedly the first landing place of those adventurous conquerors who came over the sea. Rock paintings depicting the ritual life of these people are preserved on overhanging cliffs. It's assumed that the shamans created all these drawings under the influence of natural drugs. Quickly feeding little lizards with grapes. And to conclude the tour, we go to the Cerro Largo monument on a hill. From here, you can see the huge white salt pyramids that once inspired the name Island of White Gold. Bonaire had a varied history, but became the island for nature lovers. Curaçao, with its capital, Willemstad, is the third and largest of the ABC Islands. Much here is reminiscent of Holland because the colonial rulers were influenced by their own customs, habits and architectural style. The districts of Otrabanda and Punda are separated by a canal between the sea and the inner harbour basin and connected to the floating pontoon bridge, Koningin Emmabrug. Via Breedestraat, the route leads through the historic district of Punda. Elegant shops are now established in the renovated old houses. The waterfront and the Wilhelmina Park from one end of the old town. And the busy Columbusstraat provides a different demarcation. Just outside the city on the seafront, the Sea Aquarium Park has been created. A unique water zoo where in more than 40 seawater pools the entire submarine world of the Caribbean is presented. A sensational dolphin show thrills visitors young and old. Here, the successes in training of these intelligent animals are on show. But even sea lions love to be kept busy. Back in the city, Dutch bridges, colourful houses and the romantic floating market on the banks of Waigat welcome you. Pastel-coloured colonial houses form the Handelskade along the Sinte Anna Bay Canal at the inner harbour basin. Typical is the radiant Penha House. It was all the work of Jewish settlers who had journeyed here via Amsterdam with the West India Company and settled down. The Fort Amsterdam, which was built in the 17th century by the Dutch as headquarters of the West India Company, also tells of the changing history of the island and the city. Today, the ABC Islands in the turquoise blue Caribbean Sea awaken other desires.